We're going to show how to apply limits and use that to find the gradient of the tangent to a point on a curve. And basically we're going to look at that via an example, and the example is there for x cubed, f of x equals x cubed. Find the gradient of the tangent to this curve at the point 2, 8. Then start by finding the gradient of the secant through point P 2, 8, and Q 2 plus H all cubed, because a secant needs 2 points to define it. Then we're going to apply the limit. So we're going to apply the limit as H approaches 0. Okay, as we've seen a lot of times in the past, our rate of change formula, our gradient formula, will be the difference between the corresponding values for the y and the x-axis, or the dependent and independent variables. So we got 2 plus h all cubed, and we've also got 8. And then on the denominator we have 2 plus h, and we have 2. Let's expand and simplify. Now you may know the pattern for expanding a cubic, but if you don't, you might have to go for the meantime, until you learn how to do that, you should know the identities for squaring binomials, so you might have to do that and expand that out if you can't just go straight to a cube. So we've got 8 plus 12h plus 6h squared plus h cubed minus 8. On the denominator we've just got h. Simplifying the numerator, the 8's cancel out. We have h cubed plus 6h squared plus 12h. Notice how everything on the numerator has a factor of h in it. That's a good thing, because we have to divide through by h to simplify. We do not want to deal with a h on the denominator, as per the previous video on limits. Alright, dividing through every term by h, now we have h squared plus 6h plus 12. So the gradient, key point here, the gradient of the tangent. So see, that's us working with a secant. Alright, now the gradient of the secant has to approach the gradient of the tangent. So gradient of tangent to the curve, which was x cubed at 2, 8, point P, is the limit of that expression above. So we go the limit as h approaches 0. You must have watched the previous video to appreciate this next step, and that will be every term for h is affected. So let's write that in, and that will be 12. So without drawing a tangent and trying to measure it, which would be ridiculous, we can do it ourselves by applying limits. So the answer is 12.